Yo, YouTube, streaming again today. You know, daily, right? So I'm gonna start streaming now. What are we doing today? Another topic. Superpowers of today. That's all I wrote, and that's all I see. So I'm gonna go live. Confirm and go live. Nothing's in my hands. Oh, you know what? You know what's so great? One second, let me. No, it's not open. Okay, cool. Do you know what's so great? Being here. I like this. I like this a lot. The reason I like this is because it's me doing the thing that I want to do. It's like it's just me doing it, right? I said something that I'm doing it and I could grow. So that's cool, right? How do you turn nothing into something? And how do you turn that something into something that matters? That's what I'm gonna try to do. But I'm gonna go rather than go sort of quickly. I'm just gonna try be as consistent as possible, learning as I go, very small by small. Like this is taking nothing from my day. This is just how my days being oriented, and I like doing this. So I'm just gonna keep going. Anyway, superpowers of today. That's the discussion. Um, right. What is a superpower? What is a superpower? The actual definition of a superpower. Well, there's the comic book definition, right? And there's the realistic definition. I would say the comic book definition is kind of like an exaggeration to the realistic definition. But the comic book definition is more popular. So we're gonna explore that. Right. Mm. Okay, let's go. Gonna open Chrome first, and then I'm gonna get out the whiteboard. Right. Let's go. And also, I need to go studio mode because that's what I use now. Studio mode. Okay, this is what we did yesterday. This was the conclusion for yesterday. Wait, why is this? No, one second. Why is this? Okay, I'm back. Anytime someone comes and interrupts, I'm just going to mute the mic. Right? Okay. Where was I? Right. This is what I have for this was what we did yesterday, right? So I don't know why I get stuck in such a random position. Like, bro, I need to lock in. Hold on one second. I haven't saved this, so I'm gonna save this now. What was it? What was it? What was it? I'll just say proverb. analysis. The what is it called? What was it called? The thing we did yesterday. The only true wisdom is one true wisdom is one that you know nothing. Why does this keep being shaky? Oh my days. Technical part. Technical. Everything's good. We're good. I haven't even checked if Twitch is fine. I keep doing this all the time. Okay, tomorrow. Oh, and I didn't delete Twitch this time, so I'm good. Tomorrow, what I'm gonna do is this, right? Everything's gonna be set up before. Also, I was trying to find a good stand for this camera, right? But I realized this is not really you can't really use this camera for streaming, right? This is a very old camera, right? So unlike my GoPro, which I was using, but like my GoPro is like my GoPro and my laptop camera is the same quality, right? This is a MacBook, so it's very good quality. It's sort of the latest one, very good quality, right? So my GoPro and the MacBook camera is like the same. So I was just like, I might as well use this instead because it's easier setup. So I was gonna try and use this, but I needed some sort of wire to plug it into that, and I got the wire, but it doesn't work. I can't use this camera to stream. It's a decent quality, but it's a very old camera. It just doesn't work. I can try to find a different way, but the thing is, it it works with battery. You can't just plug it in and it just stays on. You have to recharge the battery and put it back in. So it's not gonna work for streaming. Um, but I got the wire and I also got the stand. Well, at least now I have a stand for whatever camera I get in the future. So I got this stand from Amazon. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good stand. How many degrees of motion? Like, see what I mean? Up, down, around, and the camera thing is also free to move. So it's pretty good. How do I close it? Never mind. I'll take that, put that back in here. So, why did I? I'm such a terrible streamer. I should. I think it's because of studio mode. Studio mode works better on OBS, but I need to get used to it here so that I just keep doing it. Because I'll see the full camera on this one side, but I won't see it on the other side. So I think it's like that's what you guys are seeing. How can I wait? How can I block this or make this smaller? I can't, can I? I don't think so. Alright, it's fine. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back. Alright, this is done. I can save that. I can delete it. And then we're set to go. Okay, so boom boom superpowers of today. OWERS of today. Right. When we say superpower, what do we mean? So superpower. What do we mean by this? This thing right here. Superpower. Right, so we have the comic book version. And we also have the real version. This is what I know. This is all that's in my head, right? So I'm going to try to say it as clear as possible. So the comic book version is like, you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender with the different bending techniques. That's like a superpower guy. That's unnatural. You know, it's unnatural. It's not realistic. It doesn't work. You can try it when you're young, but it doesn't work. Trust me, I've tried. There's no chi that you build, right? It's when they do it in sort of these sort of fantasy, not fantasy, but these like fictional shows or movies. it's kind of like an exaggeration of something more innate to an individual, right? Something like a what could be, you know, which is very self-explanatory. But a realistic superpower is, it can be two ways. You can have it in terms of like, okay, actually, am I going about it the wrong way? I think superpower is just an idea. One second. So superpower is simply just an idea, right? It's not real. I think superpower inherently, it's a metaphor, right? And then when you see it in like the movies and stuff, it's just this sort of metaphor, like visualized, you know. In the real world scenario, the metaphor is kind of like, it's like an exaggeration of actual strength, a superpower. You know what I mean? So let's say somebody is strong. When they have a superpower, then they're super strong, inhumanely strong. You get me? When somebody is smart, like a superpower would just be an exaggeration of your intelligence. When someone is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like an it's like a metaphor. It's an exaggeration. Well, that's not really what a metaphor is. It's something different. Um, no, it's a way to describe something, right? So it can be a metaphor, but it's something else. What is it? But it's not the one I'm thinking about. Hyperbole. That's a poetic technique, but I don't. Hold on. Oh, I can't use any. I can't use anywhere. So what I'm thinking about, but okay. Just gonna write that down. Then we'll correct it. Do, 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 do. Hyperbole. Right. So it can be two, right? But I'm saying superpowers of today. So I think this is more inferent. This is more in relation to something more realistic, right? I've spoken about the not realistic type of superpower where like it's an exaggerated form of something more innate, like super strength, super intelligence. And then you can also get the ultra exaggerated fictional types, like having the ability to push fire from thin air, or you know what I mean, or disappear. You know what I mean? Like disappearing means wanting to leave somewhere, right? But actually, like realizing that in like a fictional sense would be you genuinely vanishing out of nowhere. So it's like an exaggeration of something more innate. But when we bring it to reality, a superpower is also an exaggeration, right? Because a superpower is so closely tied to the exaggeration. It represents the exaggeration, that that exaggeration can be used to detail like a particular trait or a unique skill in someone. Wow, your eyes are your superpower. Your how you carry yourself is a superpower. You're very strong, so you're super strong. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Just bear with me. I'm gonna try to. Hmm. Okay. Right. Let me put them into two categories. Um. How did I use this? Shouldn't have used it. Let's use this one. Two categories, right? Have one. Do we have another one? Okay. Right. I'll say this is the realistic, and this one is the unrealistic. Right. Oh, for flip's sake. Deploy it and bring it here. X, I. Alright. Realistic, unrealistic. Okay. For the realistic, no, let's go on realistic first, 'cause that's what I'm talking. Realistic is gonna be like fiction. For instance, movies, TV shows, cartoons, things like that. That's the unrealistic. Now the realistic would be people's ability right with people's ability that goes far goes far beyond the average. Okay. So there. Right? There. And also it could be any real entity that their ability goes far beyond, like supersedes the average. Any real, and I'll tell you why. Entity that their ability far right. So the ones that stand out. Okay. Now let's extrapolate from the realistic. Okay. Let's go. Right. Right. How do we extrapolate from realistic? How do we do it? And I actually don't like this. Give me 1 second. Let me fix this real quick because it's pissing me off. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay, that's pissed me off. Oh, and also today I think I'm gonna try to do what I said here. Make this look nicer. That's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna try to make this look nicer. Hmm. I said I'm gonna be here all the time, right? Every day. So If, for instance, we need to upgrade, should I just upgrade on stream? Would that be the case? Like I stream the types of upgrades that I'm doing. Like one day, like I'll say upgrade day, but that takes out yes. Oh, I can just do like upgrade without being too serious or too technical, and then talk about everything that I've discussed because it's still the same. You know, I could do that. Actually, I'm going to do that. Next week, we're gonna have one day in the week where it's like an upgrade day, where I just take the full hour and I just work on things and learn quickly. You know, that could work. That could work. Really could. Mm. Anyway, back to this. Hmm. A realistic superpower, like, would be. Oh yeah. Let me also say, okay, why I said this. Any real entity, right? That their ability far exceeds the average. So that could be, for instance, let's say there's a dog, right? That is just extremely fast or something. You say that dog has a superpower for speed, right? Compared to other dogs, a cheetah is like the fastest animal. It's like that's their superpower compared to other animals. You know, the lion is like strong compared to mammals or whatever the case may be. So it's like a it's like a description, a superpower. I think I'm getting this very, very, very wrong, but I'm gonna keep going anyway. At least now we genuinely have time to compare compare conclusions. Maybe I'll have a conclusion there, and we can also go into particular aspects of the thinking process because I'm gonna have it all laid out. Like, for instance, look at this. Like we're gonna have stuff like this where it's all jumbled up and laid out so that we can remember what we're saying, and then we're just gonna X out parts that are just completely wrong, right? So that's the case. Now, any real entity that their ability far exceeds the average. That could be a country, right? So, what are the superpowers of the world? What countries have the superpower who are able to sort of not dictate what happens, but is pivotal in how world history is oriented? Who in this particular time, which is why you say why the prompt is like superpowers of today. Who are those people? Who are the superpowers? Because a superpower just for realistic superpowers, just any real entity that their ability far exceeds the average. So in superhero movie, the protagonist or even the antagonist or the cast of characters, depending on the world, right? There's a particular thing that each character can do that makes their ability far exceed the average, right? So average people can do that. Let's say you go to um, movies like any Avengers movie, right? So the average person don't have the means of going and building a robot that makes them super strong, right? So there you are an Iron Man because you're able to create this iron thing and make it super strong. Is that not still a person? But their superpower is just their exaggerated feats that they can do time and time again. So that's I'm talking about Tony Stark. That's his superpower, the ability to sort of build those robots, not robots, but build those suits, right? That's the superpower. Right. Now the superpowers of today. That's the main prompt. So I'll go down there. I'll say superpowers. Now, what would that be? So now that I've explained it, obviously what it means is countries. That's where I was trying to head the discussion into the countries, superpowers of today. So now, from that explanation, we can just discuss. Okay, who are they, right? So what I'm going to do is just search, not search up, but just um, hmm, just go and search world map. I think we've used this map before. Okay, now let's dissect this. Hold on. Let's go. Right. First thing, what far exceeds the other here in terms of land area? Because a superpower in a country, what is it determined by actually? What is a superpower? Yeah, let's do it. Let's be smarter. What determines the superpower of a country? When a country is said to have power, what does that mean? Right. What does it mean? Actually, give me a minute. I'll be back. I'll be back. Oh, and I can't even put the I'm on an okay. I'll just do it here. What did I say? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not. All right, be right back. There we go. There. Okay. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. 1 second. Need to mute it as well. Yo, I'm back. I'm back. Um, where'd I go? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm back. Let's just get straight into it. All right. Boom. Blah, blah, blah. Right. What determines the superpower of a country? What is it? Is it the military size? Is it their exports? Is it their GDP? Their economic status? Is it their productivity? Is it their raw materials? Actually, it's a combination of all of that. But what's the most important thing? Let's get the five most important ones. Okay, so military might. Definitely. The more people a country has, the more able the country is to fight, I guess. But another thing to note is this, right? If a country if a country is on the same page, and they're more sophisticated in how they treat military warfare, then they could beat a country with a larger military size. You understand? Picking up what I'm putting down? So they have to be like have a big military but know how to run it efficiently. So this goes hand in hand, right? What else? Definitely raw materials, right? Bargaining power. Anything that you can produce from the country's soil in their landmass, then it's bargaining power. It is what defines your exports. And also how rare they are, the rarity of the raw materials, right? That's going to determine superpower. Now, it's remember, superpower is basically ability of an entity, a real any real entity that their ability far exceeds the average, right? So that's the meaning of a realistic superpower. Now, when you move over to countries, because that's what the title is implying, obviously there's more to do with superpowers of today. You can go to the individual. Right now, we're focusing on the country, right? So military might, raw materials, what else? Productivity of the people. So, what can they do to make sure that they have the better bargaining power, right? You may have more people, but are your people working this much and producing this much value? Are your people working to their highest capacity, efficiency, everything else to produce this much value for this country, to allow the country to grow as much as it can or as fast as it can in the best way that it can, right? So, longevity and growth are two things as well, right? Ability of the country's people to bring value. Right. Military might, raw materials, productivity, I would say relationships as well. Well, that does go into the ability of the people to bring about value because it's the people there that makes the good relationships and stuff like that. But I'll also say relationship partnerships or alliances. Alliances makes you strong. alliances. Basically, who has your back and under what conditions, right? So alliances, who has your back and under what conditions? Okay? This is what makes a country a superpower. Oh, these are only four. What's the fifth one? What's the last one? So the highest band of these things, or the combination of these factors, is what makes a country a superpower. So pay attention, right? This thing is in my head, and this is what is also in your head. So don't act like you don't know. Everybody knows this. But the thing is, we just never bring it to the front and say, "Oh, let's use this information and do something with it." What am I doing with it, you ask? I'm sharing it here. Okay, that's good enough. So if you're smart and you want to use this for something better, then go do that. Right? I'm doing this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the last one? I mean, I said productivity, but wealth. How much treasuries do they have? Right, their whole, well, their reserves. So the wealth of the wealth. Now, this is it. Buying power. There. Right? Bargaining power, buying power. This is what makes a country a superpower. Now, if we take all these factors, we need to see what countries are superpowers, right? So military, raw materials, productivity, alliances, and wealth. When I do this, you're gonna see how terrible I am with global affairs. But if you are a person, you need to understand what is happening outside of your bubble. Okay? You have to. Everybody has to. So this is a way that I'm learning, and thank you for joining me. Okay? And these things can actually initiate like, interest in me too, because this is gonna really expose me to a lot of stuff. All right, let's just take X for countries that have superpowers. This is just based on no knowledge or anything. Definitely US, X, I'm just gonna put that there. X in Russia. This is just what I know. X in China. Um, I'll say the UK, but I don't know. I'll put dots this time. Um, mm, mm. Say France. Saudi Arabia. Because of oil. Saudi Arabia has oil. So they're a superpower. Also, Africa also has oil, but the reason why they're not a superpower because um not Africa, sorry. I would say Nigeria, right? That's my country. But why would Nigeria be a superpower? Because they haven't had the amount of longevity that other countries have had. And they're not as sort of rigid, right? Not everybody's on the same page. Like if you go here, let me zoom back out. If we go here, right, they need to be on the same page. I think this can also go for like productivity. They need to be on the same page. So, yeah. And alliances. I don't know if that's like their bargaining power, right? Who has your back, basically, and under what conditions? The bargaining power isn't great. So, potentially, I think I saw something when I was like doing some research in history that said that Nigeria was actually on a good trajectory, but something happened. But I'm not sure what it was. But a lot of it is due to crime. But who started that crime? I don't know. I don't know. But or to be superpower, you need to have everything together. What else? Right, you can see even the countries that have massive landmass, they are not superpowers. Right, like Saudi Arabia has, just the same as Algeria, something like that. France is small. UK is pretty small. I'll say, is Germany a superpower? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, but Switzerland, I don't know if it's a superpower, but like it's in terms of alliances, Switzerland just has it, man. Where's Switzerland? I think it's here. Might be wrong though. My geography is not the best, but I do know every country in the world. Not every country in the world. I used to know every country in the world, but not anymore. Oh wow, I'm going out of time. Okay. Oh flip. Oh no, I'm going out of time. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my final statement, and then we're gonna search if it means something. I like the pressure actually. Okay. Superpowers of today. Well, I think I already answered it. Okay, this is my answer. Okay, I'll say based on the definition of a realistic superpower, today has to be attributed to countries of which needs to be in the upper echelon level rank organization. ECH. You didn't see that. Oh, okay. Based on the based on the definition of a realistic superpower, the superpowers of today has to be attributed to countries, of which needs to be in the uppermost echelon of the whole world in terms of a combination of, and we can bring those five things: military might, raw materials, productivity, alliances, and wealth. Military, military might, raw materials, productivity, boom, 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 alliances, and wealth. I keep spelling alliances wrong. All right, wealth. Okay, this type of power enables them to have a key role in dominating and or dictating the It's finally wrong. Trajectory of the world. There, that's my final statement. Okay, I went sort of out of time, but we'll see. To plug this in. Okay, based on the definition of a realistic superpower, the superpowers of today, right, has to be what the flip? Have to be attributed to countries of which needs attributed to countries of which needs to be in the uppermost echelon of the whole world in terms of a combination of military might, raw materials, productivity, alliances, and wealth. This type of power enables them to have a key role in dominating and or dictating the trajectory of the world. Should I say dominating? I'll say dominating the world and dictating its trajectory. Yeah, I think that's better. Now, let me search it up. What are oof, what are the super of today? And remember, we need to understand our sources. Okay, this is basic stuff, right? We need to understand our sources. ChatGPT is like a quick thing, but it's off the it can hallucinate. So we need to know where to go and who to trust. But we're only doing this for 15 minutes. So we give us a quick snapshot, and then if we can peer further in, then we will. All right. So I'm gonna ask, okay, what are the superpowers of today, and we'll see what we get. So let's go. Right. Let's just okay. Just talk about sources. I'm going with Wikipedia. All right. Oh, understanding global superpowers. Okay, let's go. Oh, it's flipping. All these blogs and articles and websites, they need all this thing. There's just so many walls to get to the information. So information is not cheap. All right. So there's superpowers and there's middle powers. Potential superpower. Rank the world best superpowers. What are global superpowers? Great powers in the 21st century. 5 superpowers ruling the world. The 4 tech superpowers. That's also true. It doesn't have necessarily have to be countries, right? It can be any entity. Any entity that has the ability to dominate the trajectory of history. Right? So in a superhero movie, a superpower would be sorry, a superpower would be more fictional and exaggerated, like the sort of fire thing, like in Dragon Ball Z. But those characters have the ability to dominate and or determine the trajectory of the world. So you have the good guys and the bad guys, but their power allows them to do those two things. The same two things that countries are able to do. The same two things like massive multinational companies are able to do. So power is necessarily how much you can influence and dictate what happens. When you have a supervillain, they have the power to do crazy stuff. But when you have a superhero, they stop the supervillains from doing crazy stuff. So regardless of what part of the field you play as someone or some entity with a superpower, you have to understand that you're able to do these two things. So, what activities are you going to engage in, right? And I'm saying this, but I'm saying it for you to understand what I mean when I'm trying to look at this topic. Okay? So, it might be like, oh, you can say that I could just be like, oh, superpowers. Well, we know that they're just referring to countries, but as you see here, it's not just countries; it's companies too. It's not just individual pieces that move the world or make it spin. It's can go as small as the individual or a particular moment, right? Like give somebody this aha moments to take them on a journey to build whatever superpower they can and have as much influence on like a larger amount of people to become a company like this. Because companies like this can now genuinely enforce things on governments who run the countries. So you have to read between the lines, you know? So that's why I like doing this. I like doing this because what we were given the internet for was access to, I guess, everything, right? Cheaper access to everything, more convenient access to everything. So I wasn't the person to engage in something like this. Nah, I want information fast, quick, and I want it to be fun. That was me. But if I'm being honest with myself, right? If I'm being honest with myself, people want things to just stay the same all the time. So I can't bullshit and say, oh, I haven't grown, or my motivation hasn't changed. What I want to do hasn't changed. How I looked at the world hasn't changed. It has. So you have to grow and do the thing that you want to do, the thing that helps. So for me, I'm picking to do this because it's going to help me really sit down and become that person that I want to be, right? It is because I want to be the type of person to just know these stuff. And I want this information to be the sort of vehicle that helps me do things, you know? See, that's why I'm presenting myself like I don't know because I genuinely don't. I don't. I don't know. But I want to. I want to know very, very much. And I want to know how much I know before then consuming more info because I already consumed a lot. I want to see if I can go into the depths of my mind and bring out information that I guess had lost, you know? And anybody can do this. This is simple. I just opened up my laptop and just started recording or streaming. And I'm just uploading it. We have platforms that allow you to do this. So, who do you want to be? The person who doesn't care, the person who does it, but does it in whatever way, or the person who does it to really better themselves? If there's no place for that, then it's just going to be very tough to navigate the world. But hopefully, something happens and I'm actually enjoyable to watch. I have my final statement. We didn't get a specific conclusion that we can compare, but what we searched for gave us more insight, and it sort of made our conclusion more holistic. I don't know if I should be changing the conclusion or should I leave it as that. My thing is, this is mostly to do with my own intuition, so I'm just gonna leave it as the statements that I have at the start, right? So basically, superpower just means, if we're being realistic, right, an entity that has the ability to dominate the world or dictate its trajectory. Damn. And with that being said, peace.